Okay, we are live. We're going to go right to commercials. Melanie in the Morning Show, y'all. We'll be right back.
The Melanated Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams. WGFB FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Listen, you only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC radio show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Shell Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a bullseye view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Shelly Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night, but I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just a course for you. Please go to ShellyShellWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio. Radio.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Clear myself. I am the legendary DJ Cool. And if I were you, I would keep my joint locked to Grown Folks Radio.com. They keeping you up on the latest, everything out here. Don't forget the name, GrownFolksRadio.com.
The Melanated Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams.
Man, I'm over here hitting the wrong buttons and stuff, and
happens. Hey,
Hey,
Beth. Hey,
Screw it
Malik. How y'all doing today?
Oh, you sounded real ghetto just now, like ghetto fat. How y'all doing today? It wasn't even ghetto. It was kind of like the waitress that's, "Can I take your order? You want some coffee?" Like, you sounded kind of New Yorkish.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
It makes
So,
sense.
Today is Thursday, which means
Thursday.
we talk about everything and nothing. That means a whole lot of something. So, we wanted to talk about your. First of all, we wanted to talk about your travel last week. We didn't get into it yesterday, but
Yeah.
we're gonna do that.
Well,
Or we.
okay. Well, okay. I, in all honesty, have been having issues, car issues for a few years now. I had a really nice Honda that I loved very much, very, very much. But it got tied up in my divorce. So I lost my car and I wasn't able to get another one. And then when I finally got one, I got a used one. And I went through a couple of used ones and they were like ups and downs with used cars. And I'd never had used cars before that. Always had new cars. I mean, I would keep them and then get rid of them and get something else, whatever. Well, my last car that I had wasn't worth a whole lot, but it was a good car. It was good. And I didn't have that many problems with it. But unfortunately, even though I got every sign to not drive this specific day, I got all these things that literally said, "Don't drive today." I was like, well, Sophie can drive. I'm not going to drive. I'll let Sophie drive. So we were trying to go to the grocery store because we were out of groceries. And long story short, Sophia avoided an accident and totaled. I have not had a car ever since because the car wasn't worth enough to get something else. And I need a new car. I don't want any more used car. It costs too much to maintain them. So in this time frame that all this has been happening, I started taking a bus. I take the Greyhound to back and forth to Chicago. For 1 year during the divorce, Sophia was with her dad for about a year. And so since I didn't have a car, I had to see my kids. So I would take the Greyhound. And I always had to do some experience. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. The buses were always clean. Sometimes they were new, sometimes they weren't. The people were just the people, wasn't no issues about it. The bus station in Indianapolis is absolutely horrific.
Really?
It is horrific.
You know what?
Crazy what?
The one here in Philadelphia ain't too cute either.
The crazy thing is it's surrounded by opulence. It's in a part of the city that is very, very, very wealthy. There's lots of money in that part of Indianapolis. Indianapolis has its levels of class, just like any place, right? There's the super wealthy all the way to the super poor. This area of downtown is very wealthy. This bus station
stands out like a sore thumb.
It stands out like if you have a pretty feet, right? A one fungusy toe. That's what this bus station is like. It is filthy. It is dingy. It stinks. I don't know what the men's restrooms are like, but the women's restrooms are so horrible. They don't clean the toilets, overflowing with feces.
Wow.
You cannot use the bathroom there. All the times that I rode the bus and I had to go there, I would peek in the bathroom because I like to use the bathroom in the restroom. I don't want to do it on a bus, right? And I drink a lot of water, so I'm trying to get myself situated so I don't have to go on a bus. No. Never can, because it's always flooded in the bathroom, overflowing in the bathroom with sewage.
It must be a Greyhound because, like I said, the one here sucks. The one
It's
over
not. It's not like that everywhere. In Chicago, the bus station is very nice. It's clean. It's kept well. It's I don't know why certain cities are different, and I'm sure it's different all over the place. It just so happens that in Indianapolis, they don't care at all. And but anyway, that being said, most of the time I would ride the bus. I had a really nice experience. It was easy. As a matter of fact, I was like, if I did have a car, you know, depending on what the trip was for, I would always ride the bus, especially in the winter. I don't like driving in the winter. So it's really safe to go there. And
how else handle it?
Yeah, I have family in Chicago. Most of the time when I'm coming to Chicago, it's to visit that family. So I don't need to be going everywhere. I just want to be with them. So I take the bus. My sister usually pick me up, and I can just hang out, you know. And I'm not trying to go. I don't go out and stuff unless they're going out. Then I might go somewhere. So it's no need for me to have a car when I'm visiting my family, because that's what I'm doing, visiting my family. But every once in a while, I need to be able to get around, you know. So a car would be nice in those circumstances. This time, I won't get into why I am taking a bus, because I really shouldn't have been. Okay. I was working, and
so let's just talk about the experience. The
experience of the bus was the worst I have ever experienced in my life. It was purity filth. It stank like some guy went along every seat and marked it. The entire bus smelled like urine.
Wow.
The bathroom part of it was horrible. I mean, literal piss all over the floor. Yellowed paper, toilet tissue balled up on the floor. You could tell it was urinated on.
You know what's crazy?
Hmm.
The prison bus is clean as hell.
Every other time I've been on the Greyhound, it's been clean. Not this time. And the seats, you know, it was obviously probably the oldest bus in the fleet. Probably. Because with the armrest that you can put your arms on, they were like literally chewed out. There was no armrest left. There's just metal and chewed up looking cushion that used to be a cushion there, gone. Seat belts don't work. Dirt everywhere. What's it called? Trash rolling up and down, back and forth. Every time we stopped, trash goes rolling one way, turn goes rolling that way. It was nasty.
It'd have been cleaner on the subway. Damn.
It would have been cleaner on the subway. And the thing is, the people wanted me to ride an Amtrak, but the Amtrak is difficult sometimes on that trip from Indianapolis to Chicago and back, because there's only maybe one time a day that it might be happening. There's not multiple times, and it just happened that it did not work out at a time that was good for me to travel. I couldn't get there.
I love Amtrak.
So I took this bus, and if anything, what it did, because I had gotten comfortable with taking the bus. I'm like, it's cool. I don't care. The people are cool. Everybody's just minding their own business and getting there. It just so happened that this time it was the worst that it could probably be. I mean, at least it didn't break down. And the bus driver was very kind. I liked the bus driver a lot. He was trying to be accommodating. He just didn't clean his bus. And now maybe that's not his job. It might not be his job.
He just
somebody somewhere the system broke down. This bus, first of all, should not be on the road. It just shouldn't be. It's too decrepit. It's too messed up. So they should probably, put it in the bus. Give it a bus funeral. Take it to the bus. Wherever they bury the buses. This is one that needs to be buried. Or they need to do a complete rework of it.
Nah, just get rid of it. Just
I don't know
rapping.
what you do in those.
Once
But
you
I'm
get,
telling you, that made me. I don't know how in the world. I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know, but I don't want to ever do that again.
that could be a bad thing. That was wow. So when it comes time for them to send you, because they like to do that. How was your ride? You make sure you let them know how you
Oh,
felt.
I did. I did the I did the I did the survey, and I was very honest with everything. At first, I started doing the survey, and somehow it got inferred that, I was talking about the people, but I wasn't. It wasn't the people that were bad. The people were always nice. The lady,
No, the bus sucked.
the bus sucked. The lady that worked at the counter, she's not very nice. And there were some customers that were very upset with her because I guess she gave somebody the wrong ticket, and so one of the customers was tripping. I mean, she was trying to fight everybody. She was so upset because she was trying to get to a job interview in Gary, and the lady was sending her all the way to Chicago with no stop in Gary. The buses are different, they stop at different places. She gave her a ticket that took her to Chicago, and that's not where she needed to be. That was horrible for her. And so the bus driver was kind. He stopped in Gary. He didn't stop at the station. He was like, I can't stop at the station because it'll take me too off route, but I'll drop you off. And she was very thankful. So when I did the survey, I made sure that I was like, the bus driver was great, but I explained in explicit detail the filth of it. And I don't want to ever have to experience it again.
Well, when you come here, first of all, you ain't taking no damn bus all the way from the way. First of all, but so you'll be on a nice aeroplane. Yeah, I sounded ignorant, y'all. So what?
Oh my gosh! Speaking of that, let's get into that too.
What?
All right. If you are a producer and you have any kind of feelings at all for the people that are working for you, do not fly them or Spirit or Frontier, please. First of all,
Spirit or Frontier. Y'all heard that, right?
First of all, they're the most uncomfortable planes ever. It's the Greyhounds of the airplanes, right? You can't recline in the seats. You have to pay for everything. So they get you a ticket. And I actually got another producer. Hey, Luther. Another producer got me a ticket on Frontier, but I don't think he understands. I need to call him and tell him that even though he got my ticket,
you still got to pay.
You got to pay for a seat. When you're checking in.
Wait a minute. What?
You have to pay for a seat. You got the ticket, but you still got to pay extra money, depending on what kind of seat you want, between $13 and $30 for a seat. If you have a carry-on beyond a purse, you have to pay.
So that's why they're so cheap.
If you have a bag, which I will have, it's like $60 to check your bag. It's like $50 to have a carry-on bag. So you can't like take one of those small little luggages with barely anything. You still got to pay. So the producer is only paying $103, but you're also paying $150.
Yeah.
When you get to the airport. And then on top of that, the lines are ridiculous. They don't have that many people working. So you're literally standing in a line to just check your bag for an hour, hour and a half. Depending on the airport. Indianapolis Airport is beautiful. It's
So
really
who's the
nice.
best, cheapest one? I remember you said JetBlue.
JetBlue, Southwest.
Southwest.
Those are great ones. Those are really good ones. And the thing that makes me mad is I promised myself that I would never agree to go somewhere and someone else is getting the tickets without telling them, don't get Spirit or Frontier, please. But I forgot that quick, and I'm on Frontier again at the end of the month.
See, I just learned.
And the thing is, I gotta have a bag because from Vegas I'm going to Philadelphia, so I'm gonna be gone for almost 2 weeks. So I need stuff. I can't just bring a little tiny bag unless I want to, be re-wearing the same things, everything. And plus I'm like doing events or whatever, so I gotta look decent. So I gotta have some clothes. So I'm gonna have to pay that extra money to
make them
fly.
pay.
So it's like I'm paying them, but yet they want my presence. They want me there, but I'm paying for it, and that's not cool.
Nah, we ain't doing that. Yeah. So y'all heard that JetBlue or Southwest?
They're good. Those are good ones.
Frontier ain't as cheap as you think it is. Yeah, it's cheap for the ticket.
It's cheap when you get that original ticket.
Yeah.
But then when you get there, you're gonna have a whole lot of extra fees, and don't try to eat or even have water. Water costs you.
Speaking of eating, today is Thursday, so we talking about everything and nothing, right?
Right.
Speaking of eating, last night I order from a place, Maggiano's. I don't know if they have that out in the Midwest, but they do have that a lot of places here in the East Coast. It's supposed to be actually it is good. I haven't physically been to a Maggiano's since my mom passed. She used to love that place. Italian. So I order spaghetti and meatball. Keyword. Meatball.
That's all you got is one meatball.
These mofos sent me this big ass container
of pasta and one meatball.
So I'm sitting there get ready to watch the Fast. I said, I know these motherfuckers did just send me one meatball.
Was it a big one at least?
It was big, but that's not the point.
Well, some people that's how they some restaurants that's how they serve it. If it's a big one, they give you one great big old meatball.
So I call them like, yo, well, sir, you got the spaghetti and meatball.
No way. Does it say that on the menu? The really spaghetti and meatball? Wow.
So I went to look on
it. Wow.
So I go to look. Oh, this is some dirty shit right here.
That is hilarious. Hi, Christopher, old man. Hey, Baz. Hey, Paula.
So I'm sitting there. What's up, everybody? Seabreeze is doing all the reading. Y'all know I can't see. So I'm sitting there, Seabreeze like, dirty motherfuckers. Y'all sent me one meatball. I really felt guilty.
Yeah, well, I've seen that before. I have seen that. I don't like meatballs. I'm like my girl Beth. Beth cracks me up when she makes spaghetti with ground stuff. She grinds it down.
Oh, I hate that.
She makes it so fine. There's no chunks. It's just very fine. I don't like a great big old piece of meat like that. I don't like a meatball. I
like meatball sandwiches.
I don't like meatballs. It's too much.
Too much roll. Meat. Oh yeah, I love that. In fact, that might be my.
As a matter of fact, I only like turkey ground stuff. I don't really. I do like a hamburger every once in a while. It's not like I don't eat beef. It's just rare. Most of the time, if I make it, it's turkey, or chicken. It's not beef.
We're gonna take you out to some Philly.
Speaking of that, Malik said to take me to Miss
I know
Tootsie's.
Malik. Is Miss Tootsie still open? Because remember, somebody died from Miss Tootsie's organization, so I'm not even sure if they're still open. Hey, Sin. Listen,
Hi, Michael.
Tonight at 8:00 is me and Sin, by the way. For those y'all.
All right. I know it's going to be awesome as always.
Malik, I wanted to address that, Malik. I don't know if Miss Tootsie's is still open. Is she still open?
I don't know. I don't think you live there though, Malik. Michael, I know you're busy, love, but thank you for saying hi. Thanks for checking in, my friend.
What up, Mike?
I hope to see you before I leave Indiana. We got to figure it out that timing. I'm in and out so much.
What up, old man? Yeah, I'm not sure about that, Malik. I gotta check that out. We got a couple other places for you to go hang out at, CC.
Well, I've already known that when I'm there, I'm gonna have to like really work out even harder to be able to not gain weight when I'm there.
Why? Are we that greedy over here?
No, it's just greasy. Maybe not greedy, greasy. I want to experience the Philadelphia experience, but that just means it's going to be a lot of calories.
Yeah, I can see.
And I am counting calories, you guys.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it is kind of greasy here. Yeah, ain't nothing about. But it's good.
I'll have to like double up on my exercise.
But it's good though. Like if you go to like the Redden Terminal, you ever been to the Red?
You know I haven't. I don't remember. Tell Alice and Sadie I said hi, Mike. When I went to Philadelphia, I was working with people that were from there, so they took me. Like I got a Philadelphia cheesesteak, of course, and it was greasy as can be, and I did not. They were mortified that I did not like it. It was just too much.
No, they took it to the wrong place.
I can't imagine. It wasn't the fact that it didn't taste the part. It was the fact that it was just so much grease and just so much cheese. And it's not real cheese. It's like, yuck. It's like processed cheese.
Cheese Whiz?
Not Cheese Whiz. Maybe like a certain kind of Velveeta. It's like, yeah. God bless you. God bless you. Lots of sneezing. What you allergic to over there?
I don't know what the hell is going on. Allergies. It's that time of year. Pardon me, y'all. Y'all gonna have to talk to CC for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Now he goes and blows that nose. Yeah, I just I like real cheese. I don't like processed cheese. I don't like, I don't want to call out any names, but I just don't like processed cheese. I like the real thing. But I know people that's all they like. They don't like real cheese, like macaroni and cheese. They want the processed cheese in it, or the Kraft macaroni and cheese. I like a real cheese. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their taste buds on a different way.
Whoever what, they took you to the wrong, because I could take you some spots where you get real cheese. Like I don't like processed cheese either. I really don't. I don't like you could tell. I don't mean no harm, y'all. Welfare cheese. No.
I don't even
lemon cheese was the best cheese ever.
That
orange cheese for back in the day. What?
Was that cheddar? Was that cheddar cheese?
Yeah, but it worked.
I mean, hey, if you're hungry, a lot of things will work.
Look, all you needed was an iron, some bread, and a paper bag.
If I was hungry, I'd eat me some processed cheese too. In a second, I wouldn't be so picky. I'm like, oh, you got that? Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, processed cheese was the bomb back in the day. The bomb.
Man, it reminds me of a story. When I lived in New York City, I walked to work most of the time, and that was about 40 blocks. It was a long way. I did that every day. That's why I was so skinny when I did Mo Better Blues, because I had walked all my weight off. Very thin. And one time I can't remember. I don't remember. It was one of the special buildings that I don't know. I don't know what it was called. Anyway, a lot of wealth around there, and I was walking and there was a guy standing outside of a Carl's Jr., I think, who was homeless. And he was saying, I'm hungry. So me being me, I went inside and I bought him a burger and fries and something to drink. And I took it out to him. And he looked at me, he opened that bag, he threw it on the ground. He said, I am a vegetarian. I was mortified. Was like, wow. You're not very hungry then, are you, sir? Standing outside of Carl's Jr. And you're standing outside of Carl's Jr. talking about being hungry, and I get you a Carl's Jr. burger and you throw it down and say, I'm a vegetarian? What kind of hunger is that? I was like, okay, well, don't eat it. I thank you. God bless.
Wow.
I kept on walking.
That's funny.
Somebody picked it up or they threw it away. Something happened. And the thing is, it wasn't like I was rich. It's not like I could afford to be buying somebody else a meal. I was living in Manhattan. I don't know if Beth was still with me yet or not, but because she eventually moved. She didn't really like it. But
Ooh, Beth?
Beth and I were roommates. We went to, we were roommates in my senior year of college, her junior year. And then we moved together to New York City. And we had a box of an apartment. It literally was a box. It looks like somebody's walk-in closet. That was our first place. And at the time, it was like $850 a month.
Damn.
And this was 30 years ago. Jeez. At the time, it was this little tiny box. We had one little piece of furniture. We would switch back and forth every night. Somebody would sleep on the floor, somebody would sleep on the couch. It was crazy. And then we moved. Beth was like, "I can't be in here. It's too small." So we moved into a nice apartment in the same building. It was a 1-bedroom. It was great.
So you mean to tell me my cell at the penitentiary was bigger than your apartment?
Beth said it was a 300 square feet. It was 300 square feet.
Shit, that's a closet. Yo,
it was a closet. I told you.
I had a 6x9 cell that was bigger than your crib.
300 square feet. That's how it was, a closet. We were living in a closet that managed to have a bathroom, the kitchen, and all of that, all in this. Like,
I bet you the bathroom was small.
Oh, honey, it was so small. It was just a commode and a teeny little shower, and the sink was on the outside. The sink was dual use, wash up and wash dishes.
Wait a minute.
It was. What? It was crazy. Only young people. People. Yeah.
Listen, I used to live in the crib once. I used to live in the crib once, and it was a high rise, and I lived on the 8th floor. I loved the view, but I couldn't afford the bitch, and it was an efficiency. I literally had boxes that I taped up real good with duct tape and put sheets over top of them. That was my coffee table and my end table.
Yeah.
An old couch that I found somewhere. That was my first apartment. We can already take a break, y'all, and that's what we're going to come back and talk about. The first time you did. I'm just going to ask different questions, Seabreeze. The first time you. No, it's not sexual, Beth.
I don't know what you're talking about. I guess we'll find out after the break. 3.5 minutes.
I want to know the first time you. That part. Tell them how long we'll be back, Seabreeze.
3.5 minutes. See you guys after.
The Melanated Morning Show. Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams. WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready? Yeah.
How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Listen. You only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC radio show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Shell Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a-bullseye-view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Shelly Shell Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night, but I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just a course for you. Please go to ShellyShellWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio.
Let me clear my throat. I am the legendary DJ Cool, and if I were you, I would keep my joint locked to GrownFolksRadio.com. They keeping you up on the latest everything out here. Don't forget the name, GrownFolksRadio.com.
The Melanated Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams.
All right, so we're back. Okay, so this is the morning show, so we got to be a little bit cleaner, right?
Okay.
So, first of all, when was the first time you ever got totally pissy drunk?
I told this story recently. When I turned 22, I had my first drink, strawberry daiquiri. When I moved,
You
then
did
I moved.
that. Yeah.
I told the story. So yeah, just I don't know, maybe it was a year and a half later. I went out I was trying to hook my balls up with my friend Mary Wallace, and he started giving us shots of tequila, cheap tequila, and I got
Totally wasted.
Mm-hmm.
Totally wasted. I think the first time I really got drunk. Y'all ever heard of corn liquor? Those are. Do you know? You ever heard of that, Sea Breeze?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody decided to make me. Speaking of daiquiri, they decided to make me a pina colada with corn liquor.
Do you like pina coladas?
Yeah. I didn't like that one. I promise you, you can see where the liquor and the milk was separating, like in the middle of the glass. I'm like, oh, what's this?
Is it real milk or coconut? Coconut milk.
Coconut milk. Well, you still see it separating.
Right.
Corn liquor. So let's talk about corn liquor for a minute. It's crystal clear. It looks like water. So let's talk about the first really bad butt whooping I ever got. First of all, I wasn't supposed to be ironing the clothes that I was ironing because I was told not to, because they were my good Easter clothes. I decided to sneak and wear my shirt and iron it. Not only did I put a hole in the shirt, I call myself pouring water because you got to pour water in the iron. It wasn't water.
Oh my.
It was mommy's corn liquor.
Oh my. That's a whooping. That's when mommy's corn liquor? Sure.
Mom beat the shit out of me that day.
That is a whooping. How you make that mistake? I mean, I know it looks like water, but dang on.
I was 15. I didn't know. I wasn't even 15.
15 is old enough to know.
I don't even think I was 15. I was like 13, something like that. Still, yeah. It was because it was in a regular water jug. I don't know what I was thinking. I was too lazy to go in the kitchen and get a cup of water. Oh, there's water right here. Because my mom had a lot of plants. My mom, let me tell you about Carol, Miss Carol. She was a very creative person. So she had a lot of plants all over the house, especially in the dining room. And that's where we set up the dining board at. So she had a jug and she would have jugs of water. My mom was a weirdo, was a natural weirdo. She actually would collect rainwater.
That's not weird. People do that still.
So on the back porch, she would actually have a bucket and she would transfer it into the the jugs, the old milk jugs. So I'm thinking, it's water.
Nope.
Well, that stuff got the I don't know what it was, but the knob that you turned on with actually blew off the bitch and flew across the dining room.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Wow, that's a new story. I've never heard that one before. you put liquor in the dang on iron. About blew up the house. That's crazy.
Almost blew the house up. I was a weirdo kid. I used to do some really stupid stuff.
That was stupid. Could you not smell the liquor? It doesn't have a smell.
You know what? It really doesn't. Good corn liquor doesn't have a smell. It's smooth and it really is as clear as water. I'm telling you.
Wow.
A good batch. And at that time, I really didn't realize why my mom was meeting this dude every couple of weeks to buy a jug of water.
So it couldn't have been too much iron doesn't take that much water. So it's not like
We talking about liquor, straight liquor.
I know. I'm just saying that it didn't take that much. You didn't. It's not. You didn't get the whooping because you wasted a whole lot of liquor. Because it's not that much that fits in that little thing. Right. But any and all, I guess.
Yeah. Now, the first time I really, really got drunk, in all actuality, again, sneaking out of my mom's liquor cabinet, I decided to drink some Jack Daniels.
That'll get you a whooping too. Drinking your
I'm
mama's
like, oh, this is like tea. You know, I can drink this.
Mm-hmm.
About a good hour later, and it just so happened she came home and caught me.
Yep.
So every time I leaned to the left, she smacked me back to the right. Every time. I think my mom was really, really. My mom had a hell of a right hook. I don't know how else to put it. I guess you feel like she had to be like that because, you know, we were in the hood, and I was always into something. I was always doing something.
You were just a boy. Boys are always into something, usually.
So,
they're so cute. I always wanted one. I always wanted to deal with that. And maybe, I mean, obviously it's too late for me, but I always wanted that experience.
Boys are hard though. Boys love their mothers.
Yeah, and I never had that. You know, my daughter was always so independent. I know she loved me, but it's just not the same as how a son is to his mother. If it's a good relationship, if it's not a good relationship, it's different. But yeah, I always wanted that kind of love from a son. I hate that things didn't work out for me that way.
So let's go back to your first.
Okay.
Your first bad date.
I've had so many. The first bad date. Well, remember, I didn't really start dating. I've always been a girlfriend of somebody. I haven't been a big person that dates a lot of people. You know, I get serious fast when so I really don't have anything to say about the first guys I dated. And the only thing I can say is much later when I was into my I was starting to have sex much later. And I was starting to have sex, and I started dating a guy that I really liked. He was very funny. He was a comedian and just a great person. He was such a great person. We were friends for a long time before we ever started even considering that. And I guess that wasn't really a date because we had been dating kind of for a long time. But I don't want to tell this story because
I'm talking about the first. Okay.
It might
let me set it up. I'm talking about somebody you just meet and you go on a date and you're like, ooh. All right. I'll give you a prime example. I'm going to tell you a story of my first bad internet date.
Never had one.
Really?
Never. Not once.
This is back when the internet dating. I'm going back to
early stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm going back to MySpace, Black Planet. So I meet this lady, and meet this chick, and we meet downtown. Anybody knows Philadelphia, the Clothespin? That's a big place right there, 15th Market. We meet, and I didn't realize that she kept all night long.
Kept all night long. What does that mean?
Well, not all night long. I should say the whole time we're standing there talking.
Oh, okay.
So
you gotta. Some people that are listening on radio don't know what you just did.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm covering. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm covering my mouth. She's doing this. And finally we go to eat, and I'm like, no wonder. This one, and this one gone.
Wow, poor baby.
So I'm sitting there at the table, and I'm like, how am I going to get through this without asking her, "Did you know you was coming to meet somebody?"
Eating,
Huh?
and she was going to eat.
She did, and it just.
That's so unfortunate for her. My gosh, how embarrassing. I
couldn't
mean,
do it.
I would have just said no. Let's go somewhere else. I would not have agreed to have dinner under the was it a first date? Obviously it had to be, right? Oh man, how sad. That's so horrible. That's really sad.
Do you know she had a funky attitude?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she's probably very defensive. You know, can you imagine how many people made fun of her, mistreat her?
I couldn't do it no more because I couldn't take the attitude, and you showing up with no fronts. You know what? Get home safe. Bye. I left her sitting there at the restaurant.
She was just probably totally defensive because she should have just said no to food. You know what I'm saying? I mean, anywhere you would have gone, eventually you would have saw her mouth. But that just made it so evident. And having had issues with my teeth as a child, I know what that does to self-esteem. It crushes your self-esteem. And then you're lonely and you want companionship. And the only way, you know, if you meet somebody in a bar and you start laughing or they see your mouth, it's going to be. So internet is the only place where you maybe could get in the door, you know, and then you're defensive because you know what they're thinking, you know, and
First date. Yeah. Then there was the time. Oh God, I remember this one. I was living in Boston at the time. And I was DJing. I was in the club. And all I remember was this girl kept drinking Grand Marnier. This lady kept drinking Grand Marnier. She was a little bit older than me. Well, when I woke up the next morning, I was in Connecticut. I don't know how I got to Connecticut. I don't know. I couldn't even remember her name.
That's too much alcohol on a day.
But guess what? I didn't go home for a week.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a good one.
Because she could cook her ass off, and she was, I mean, it took me a week to get home. You know, I think that's part of the reason. No, that's a whole lot of the reason why I just don't drink at all. Because every time that I could think that I was really, really super, super drunk, it didn't turn out.
Yeah, it only happened. I can remember 3 times in my life being drunk. The first time where I told that story already, blackouts galore. I don't know how I got home and I was miserable. The next time was when somebody roofied me, or whatever it's called, when they put the stuff in my stuff. That was on, I had 2 glasses of wine. That was my second glass of wine. There was that time. And then the last time was recently. It wasn't that long ago. My family, they drink. Big drinkers in my family. And we went to my father's house for some reason. I don't know what the event was. It was one of our gatherings. And I like whiskey, you know. I like alcohol. I don't drink a lot of it, but I do like the taste of it. I like the taste of liquor. Certain stuff I can't stand. But for whatever reason, I don't know why. I think it was because I was hanging out with Megan. I had a couple of shots of whiskey, and I hadn't eaten, and I forgot. It was like, because I was saving my appetite for whatever meal Megan was making or whatever was going on. And I knew the food was going to be good and it was going to be a lot of it. So I didn't eat early in the day, waiting. And I just totally was in the party mood and I wasn't thinking at all. And I started off with a couple of shots. I don't know. I think Megan probably made one of her mixture concoctions, and I probably had some of that. And by the time I ate, it was too late. I was already drunk. And Susan, my stepmother, she always told me, she said, when you drink too much, you're loud. So I guess I was really loud that night.
Oh, wow.
She said I'd get loud like the rest of the family. Most of the time when I'm not drinking, I can, I'm quieter and I do more listening. But when I'm drinking, I can get as loud as all the rest of the Williams. And that night I remember driving home and I was terrified. I shouldn't have been driving.
Wow.
I should not have been driving. And Sophia's sitting next to me and I'm thinking the whole time, God, please get me home without being stopped, because I felt I was still, it was like, I don't get drunk like that and remember it. The one time I blacked out, the other time I upchuck. And this time I'm aware and I'm conscious, but I know I should not be driving. I should not have been driving. I should have either stayed there or let somebody take me home. I was so worried about Sophie. I was like, I've never been this irresponsible before. And I don't know why I didn't ask to stay. My home was like an 8-minute drive away. It was right up the street. It wasn't that far. And maybe that's why. So I ended up, I got home safely, and my daughter did not know how drunk I was because I was not letting her know, but I was terrified the whole time. And there's a lot of police in Bolingbrook, a lot of police watching. And I was so afraid that I was going to get stopped. And so I was like driving probably way too slow.
Which can get you pulled over as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I kept thinking about that. I was like, I can't drive so slow. I can't drive so slow. So, I'm trying to like speed up a little bit and stay in the lines. And the whole time I was praying.
So I got a first
Please get
for
me
you.
home. Please get us home safely.
We're going to go to break, but I got a first for you question before we go to break. I don't know if you should have. I know I have. I'm going to tell mine. First concert you ever attended?
I didn't go to that many concerts, so that's probably going to be easy. We just didn't have any kind of money. I didn't have any money, so I just couldn't afford.
We had the money. We snuck in. Shit.
I don't do that. I don't steal. So I did not sneak in. I don't think I ever stuck in anything. I was such a goody two shoes.
Oh hell, man!
I didn't do nothing like that. I think it was Prince. I think my first. No, maybe it was Gino Vanelli. Gino Vanelli,
living inside my. See, you didn't think I knew that, didn't you?
No, I knew you did. We talked about Gino before. He was my favorite singer, and I think that may have been the first I went to in California. I lived in California.
One for you. My first, the first one I ever paid for, because I ain't gonna lie, I did sneak into Rick James. It was Rick James and Tina Marie.
Ooh, that would have been a great concert.
It was so much marijuana being smoked.
I'm sure.
Rick actually had 2 big weed plants on the stage. My first hip hop concert.
Wow. They allowed that.
Huh?
That reminds me, after the break, we got to talk about the new legislation they're trying to push through.
For?
Marijuana. Nationalizing marijuana. Oh, I can't believe you haven't noticed. This is all in the news.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Hurry up and go to break so we can come back and talk about that.
Baz's first gig, Jamiroquai. I saw him too. I did see Jamiroquai in New York City. Mm-hmm.
My first one was actually the Fresh Festival here in Philadelphia. It was Run DMC, Houdini, the Fat Boys, and
Oh my! There's another actually, I saw somebody else in New York before Jamiroquai. I can't remember his name. I loved this guy. It was really quirky. I can't remember. It was a really strange name. It was somebody and the somebodies. He had this, I can hear his voice in my head, but I cannot remember the name of the guy. That was maybe my first.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all the best concert I've ever seen, and this was actually while I was stationed in Tokyo. When I was stationed in Okinawa, but we went to Tokyo too. Sade. Oh my God. Oh my God.
My best was my last Prince concert I saw right before he passed. Tiffany said her first was ABC and Immature before they changed their name to LMAO.
Wait a minute, when did they change their name to? Wait a minute, when did they change their name to? Okay.
Oh no, but she won tickets from a radio station. That's how she.
Oh, remember them days? You would call the radio station if you had to. You running. I got the tickets.
Trying to get those tickets. Yeah.
I got the
I never tried that. I probably should have. Probably would have saw more.
Oh man, I was one of the ones that tried to win the tickets or to get your shout out. I like to shout out such and such Susie May. You know. I can think of so many places we snuck in shows. We snuck in. Oh man.
I'm Mature. I don't know what that means to me. Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, the name of the group, Immature.
Immature or I'm Mature?
No, Immature. She was trying to say Immature. That was the group Immature. Remember Marquise?
I didn't say I'm Mature, did I? I thought I said Immature. She said I said I'm Mature. Maybe I did.
Yeah, Immature. Marquise Houston used to play.
I know Immature.
Yeah. Immature, ABC. Yeah, that's when they had all the kids. Nah. Wow, you won tickets from the radio station. I remember that, winning tickets from the radio station. I really remember that.
They still do that. They still do that.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, terrestrial radio is not nearly as big as it was, but they still try to have it that way by doing things like that.
Yeah, she
said Immature changed to I'm Mature. It was awful.
Wait a minute, did they?
That's what she's saying.
Well, hell, they wasn't that great when they was Immature. That wasn't a good idea. Okay.
Wow.
I didn't know that. Wow.
She said they did. Yes, they did. Wow. That's crazy. That's weird. I mean, I guess you're saying now I'm mature. I was
because they were
now I'm mature.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because when they started as Immature, they were really little kids. Like
okay.
Little. I'm like 10, 12 years old. Little.
Got it. That makes sense.
So I guess it does. I mean, the name made sense, but you know, it makes sense. It makes sense. But by the time they were I'm Mature, I'm burnt out. I mean, a lot of kid stars don't make it past
in any industry.
Puberty. Yeah.
In any industry, it is very difficult. I mean, like Daniel Radcliffe. You know, I was watching something about him yesterday about how, you know, he started his Harry Potter he was 11 years old. And he's one. There are very, very few that continue on because it's such a hard business. It really is. Like music-wise, all of them, they're very difficult on children.
Yeah. I noticed that. Wow. All right, y'all. We get ready to take
3.5 minute break.
We're gonna come back and talk about that new law that I missed. I don't know what the hell
It's not a law yet. They're pushing for it. It's kind of a joke right now, but the fact that they're actually having the conversation. The reason why it's a joke is because of Biden, because they have no presidential support, but they're still talking about it. And it's not, and it's both Democrats and Republicans.
Why are you acting like Jill don't get high? All right, y'all, we'll be back. Melanated Morning Show, we'll be back.
The Melanated Morning Show. Morning show. Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams. WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Listen. You only think you know Cinda Williams, co-host of the PPC radio show and the Melanated Morning Show. You've seen her in films with some of the GOATs. You may have even heard her sing her way to the top. You don't have to judge the book by its cover. You can get the book and read it cover to cover. I'm talking about Pink Panty Confessions by Cinda Williams, available in paperback and digital format in all good bookstores. I would probably look in Amazon.
Pink Panty Confessions, the book.
Hey everybody, it is Shelly Show Williams, host of Single on a Saturday Night. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Single on a Saturday Night TV. That's at Single on a Saturday Night TV. Follow us on Instagram and we'll follow back.
For the health and safety of our guests and team members, we're here for you. That means frequently deep cleaning our stores and wiping down carts and baskets after each use, reserving dedicated shopping hours for our most vulnerable guests, providing masks and gloves to our team members, and offering contactless shopping options through the Target app, like Drive Up and same-day delivery. We are here for you now more than ever, and your health and safety is our highest priority. Learn more at target.com/a bullseye-view.
New Dunkin' Refreshers. Vibrant fruit flavors like strawberry, dragon fruit, and peach passion fruit. B vitamins and energy from green tea. All under 200 calories. Order ahead via the Dunkin' app for a contactless way to order, pay, and pick up in the drive-thru. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Amazon is hiring near you. Earn a competitive wage and start as soon as 7 days. No resume or experience required. Health and safety are a top priority with all of Amazon's roles and sites. Amazon is taking precautions in their buildings to keep people healthy. Go to amazon.com/apply. That's amazon.com/apply. Amazon is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey everybody, it's Shelly Show Williams, Philly's Oprah, executive producer of Urban Expressions, Single on a Saturday Night. But I am a business, social media, and media coach. And if you're looking to show up on social media with a purpose, I have a course for you. Have you been struggling as an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to get people to engage, how to get people to buy, how to get people just to see you on social media? I have just a course for you. Please go to ShellyShowWilliams.com to find out more.
WGFB-FM radio.
So are you ready?
Yeah. How it used to be. Something for everyone. 24/7, 365.
Yo, what's good? This is Tracy Lee, and you already know I gets down with the get down, man. Grown Folks Radio all day.
Hi, everybody. This is Cinda Williams, and I am the co-host of the Melanated Morning Show and the host of the PPC Radio Show. And you are listening to Grown Folks Radio. Radio.
Clear my throat. I am the legendary DJ Cool, and if I were you, I would keep my joint locked to Grown Folks Radio.com. They keeping you up on the latest everything out here. Don't forget the name, GrownFolksRadio.com.
So we are back, and this is
the Melanated Morning Show. Morning Show with DJ Kid Disco and co-host Cinda Williams.
So go ahead, girlie, run that bean footage. What I've been missing?
Yeah, they're just they're really pushing a lot of agendas because, you know, voting is coming up soon and they aren't getting anything done. So if the Democrats can stick together, they're really pushing a new healthcare initiative. They're and it looks like they might have the numbers to do that. And of course, you know, the Republicans like, it's too much money. It's too much money over my dead body.
You know what's funny?
Hmm.
I've been saying this for quite some time now. Whoever runs, I kept saying, whoever runs on that agenda is going to win.
The healthcare agenda?
No.
The weed thing? I think that's why they're bringing it out. And someone asked them yesterday, because Chuck Schumer was one of the main spokespeople for it. Why are you doing this now? When there's so many things that you can't get done, why are you mentioning it? And they were like, because it's on the agenda. It's one of the things that we would like to face and deal with. Because, well, first of all, they want to decriminalize it over the entire nation. They want to decriminalize marijuana, and they want to then anyone that's in jail for nonviolent marijuana use, they want get pulled out of jail. And of course, you got your old fogies that come on and say it's gonna ruin our nation and our children and all this kind of bull crap. And but that would be the first steps. Decriminalize it. Everyone that's in jail for nonviolent offenses with marijuana released. That's first steps.
See, you know, I laugh and joke about it a lot, but now I would like to see that happen, but here's my concern. Now, who's going to be the new distributor?
Pharmaceuticals.
Right. So are they going to take away?
But they haven't been able to do that yet. Pharmaceuticals have not been able to. They want to. They're trying to. They have not been able to.
Yeah, but is the quality going to suffer as a result of it?
The quality, what you get, like in a legal state, is better than the street stuff. Way better than the street stuff. I don't like street stuff because I don't trust it. I don't know what they're putting in there.
I ain't never lived in a legal state, so I ain't got no choice.
Mm-hmm.
I really
it's much better. It's much better.
Well, when they do it, I know Pennsylvania will be the last because we're a common.
No, Indiana will be the last. Indiana just within the last 2 years allowed people to buy alcohol on Sundays.
Oh, that's different. Okay.
That just happened.
Damn. Okay. Well, you can get liquor here on Sundays. You just can't. You can't own the liquor store. The state owns the liquor store. Well, the Commonwealth. This is technically Pennsylvania is a Commonwealth. And for those of y'all that wonder what's the difference, technically, Pennsylvania is not a state. And Commonwealth laws are really kind of screwy. You know, they Commonwealth laws still are on the whole Quaker initiative, if you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
They go by those type of, and Pennsylvania is a serious Quaker state. So
religion has a lot to do with the rules.
Mm-hmm. So we're pretty much the last to get all kind of stuff, you know, like Jersey. It's legal in Jersey. It's legal in New York. It's legal in Delaware, but not Pennsylvania because they're states. Commonwealths are just, and they fight. And right now, Pennsylvania is Democrat controlled. Governor Wolf is a Democrat, but he's on his way out the door. And Pennsylvania is one of the states that's going through exactly the same nonsense that Texas is going through.
Yeah, they're gonna try to. The thing about it is, as hard as they make it, it's just gonna make people fight that much harder to vote.
I believe
it's gonna have a different effect. The people that weren't caring are gonna care more.
So
because
you
they're
think
trying to, whenever you tell somebody you can't, no, I don't want you to do something, that's when they fight for it.
So you think they awaken the sleeping giant
Mhm.
and it's going to blow up in their face? I think the GOP is done. I really do. I listened to Mitch the Bitch talk yesterday, and he just never seems to amaze me. As you know, Biden was here in Philadelphia. We talked about that yesterday. So Mitch decides he wants to, I guess, counter what Biden said. And he had the nerve to say that he's failing at bipartisanship and that everything that he's saying is a lie, it's a farce. Basically saying that the laws that Republicans are passing in 42 states, I'm sorry, how many states is it altogether? I think that Republican states, I'm wrong quote. I think it's 16 states, 18 states, something like that, that are of course red, that has passed these voter suppression laws, and that's what they are. Mitch actually said that he thought that was unconstitutional, that they want to fight it, and for him to say that it's the worst thing since the Civil War, oh, that's so racist, and that's this and that's. Are you serious, Mitch? Do you listen to yourself when you talk?
He's talking to people, specific groups of people. He's not talking to you. He's talking for them. I'm not talking to you. I don't care what you think. Talking to his people.
Sounds kind of you know what? It sounds kind of self-serving to me. It's like when they were saying
Self-serving. Oh my gosh, that's like the definition of them. Self-serving.
Yeah, I mean, what Biden was saying was right. This is just as bad as it's almost like we're going through modern day Reconstruction. That's why I'm always affiliating I have two similarities that I see in history. I see Biden almost like the Lincoln administration. I see Trump like the Johnson administration right after Lincoln. They wanted to impeach him, but they couldn't because Johnson had too many friends. But they tried twice. They tried to impeach Trump twice. Why? Because both of them were crooks. So there are a lot of similarities, and I just feel as though this era that we're going through right now, so-called post-pandemic, it reminds me of what I've read about and researched about the Reconstruction period. Because that's basically what America is going through right now, reconstructing. We're post-war. What was the war? The pandemic. That really was a war. A lot of people, they said just as many people died almost with the pandemic as in I think it said Vietnam and the Korean War. That's a lot. And now what is Biden trying to do right now? Pick up the pieces. But the things that the Republicans are fighting him on,
They're going to fight him on anything he does. There's nothing that they're going to come to agreement on because they're Democrats and they're Republicans. And they feel like they're going to lose if they help the Democrats in any way. And they don't want to lose. They're fighting for their lives. So right now, anything a Democrat says, even if it would help the people, their people, all people, is not going to go through because they feel like they can't give Democrats any wins. They can't work with them. If they work with them, then what Biden promised comes true. Biden said he was going to bring us together, bring us all together. So if he was able to bring us all together, then that would be more time that that the Republicans are out of power.
Mike Larkin just made a very good point. Unfortunately, politicians take more pride in going against each other than working with it, rather than working with each other.
Yeah, because it's all about winning. It's not about helping people.
It's leverage. Who's got
It's
the
not
most
about
leverage?
helping people.
No, it's not.
It's about winning elections and staying in power and making your buddies rich. It's not about the people. They don't care about.
Has it ever been?
I think so. There have been times that it has been. A lot of times those people have been killed.
I watched this movie. Speaking of movies again, I watched this movie that I found on YouTube, as a matter of fact. And it was an interesting twist. And I never saw this particular movie, but I saw something similar done. I remember it was John Travolta. I don't remember the name of it, but it kind of reversed the reality of what's going on now and reversed it. Well, this particular movie that I'm talking about, that I saw, it gave you, it was a documentary. It was a documentary, but it wasn't a real documentary. That was the basis of the movie. The movie itself was a document, was a fake documentary. And it was telling the history, America's history, from another point of view. It was telling America's history as if the Confederate States had won the war. So they took history and reversed it. In other words, Lincoln got run out of America and went and hid in Canada. Anybody that was against what the Confederate States believed in, fled to Canada. Now, we all know in real life, Jefferson Davis fled. But in this movie, it was Lincoln. Lincoln was snuck out by Harriet Tubman. They caught Harriet Tubman, and of course, assassinated her. Well, executed her, I should say. And it was showing all these differences. And it made, the movie actually made sense. Even though it sounds bizarre, it made sense of how things would have really been. So, would slavery still be in existence now had they won? No. The reason being, the Industrial Revolution would have killed that. Because once the Industrial Revolution came, you had all these factories. You had less. Let's look at the cotton gin itself. Once the cotton gin came into existence and really started being used, you needed less slaves in the field to pick the cotton. Same thing with the Industrial Revolution. Also, one point that they made that was a good point. When the Confederate States were, at war, they tried to incorporate the help of France and Great Britain. And the reason being is because, of course, the Southern states, cotton was their biggest moneymaker, and they were in heavy cahoots with Britain and with France, and they knew the only way that they could really win the fight, win the war, is if the North just said, "Okay, frick it, we give up." But if they had Britain on their side, or even France, they might have had a fighting chance. Britain did not want to do that because they had already abolished slavery, and they felt as though, in social eyes, that would have made them look bad, that they had already abolished slavery maybe 30 to 40 years prior to the so-called Emancipation Proclamation. So would slavery still be in existence now if the Confederate States had won? No, they would not have been. It would not have been. But would racism be better or worse? Well, I don't think there would be racism. Because if the South had won, that would have been a regular way of life. So if it's...
So I don't understand. So you're saying if they had been in charge, it would have been a regular way of our life, so there would be no racism? That doesn't make sense.
Okay. If it's a regular way of life, because how could it be racist if there is no difference because that's just the way it is? Do you understand what I'm saying?
People knew it was racist at the time.
It was a way of life, though. It's just
but it was
like
still
owning,
racism.
It was just like
Racism was a
owning,
way of life, but the racism doesn't go away. It's still, maybe it's the way of life, but it doesn't go away. I mean, in certain countries where there's a caste system, the caste system is the way of life, but they still know it's racism. You know what I'm saying?
Prime example, the what is that organization? PETA, for the treatment of animals.
Yeah.
Though it's a way of life, that's just a way of life to own animals. That's just a way of life. That was a way of life.
There's still animal cruelty. You still know there's animal cruelty just because it's a way of life. There's still animal cruelty.
All right.
That doesn't take away animal cruelty.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay. So, okay. To your point, Lincoln did not free the slaves because he thought that blacks were equal.
It's not.
Lincoln's position on black people in America, and though he did not believe that a human being should own another human being, he still did not believe that black people, he still felt as though we were inferior.
Right.
That we did not deserve to be in the same places that white people
As
were.
many people still feel.
So, to your point,
Mm-hmm.
I'm conceding you have a point.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, yes. But
I mean, when things are allowed, you know, they may be wrong or right, but people know what's wrong and right. If they allow it or not, they know what's wrong and right, you know. And it's about evolution and the scales being tipped, you know, towards something like what's happening now. The scales are being tipped simply because of procreation. Enough mixed babies are out there, and people are all mixed up, and so it's tipping, and that's why they're freaking out, because they're called the majority, but they are losing their majority. So they're tripping. You know?
Are they losing the majority, or it's just time?
Yes, they're losing the majority. It's browning. Huh?
Times are changing.
Times are changing, and it's partly because we are browning. People are browning, you know, and there's all kind of different complexions or whatever. But it's the fact that the brown people are overtaking this quote unquote fake purist stuff, you know, and that's why they're freaking out. And the mentality is shifting too.
That's an interesting way you put that, fake purist.
Yeah, ain't nobody pure. All these white people that are in this country got some black in them, or some Indian, Native American in them, or some Asian in them, or something in them. Everybody does in this country. Maybe in some other countries where they've never really had immigrants or whatever, like those small, like in Peru, those small tribes, maybe they can be called pure. But if you live in a place where there's immigrants and there's people that are moving in, most people over generations have something else in them. You know, maybe not a lot, but they're not pure.
I believe that.
They might have white hair, white eyes, or blue eyes and white skin, but if they get their DNA tested, guaranteed there's something in there. If they live in this country, if they're from this country,
there's no such thing as a true peer society anymore.
Not there. I think there are a few, very few now, but not many.
Well, this society, you know what? I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Things have changed, but when the Constitution, so-called Constitution, was written, they were going by the times of then. It's just like I'm going to divert a little bit. to gun control, or as they call it, gun reform, which I don't believe in. And I'll tell y'all why I don't believe in gun reform. I believe that gun reform is a joke. Why do I believe gun reform is a joke? You cannot reform something that has been basically sewn into the fabric of American society from the beginning, from its creation. In order for you to reform guns, you would have to totally remove the Second Amendment.
That's the reform.
That's the only reform that's going to work.
That's the reform. They did it. They did it in Australia.
So it can be done.
Mm-hmm. But you can't just like tweak it. It's got to be completely overhauled.
Completely removed, I believe.
Like they did in Australia.
Remove it. Because as long as you give people the option, well, you can carry this gun, but you can't have that gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A bullet is a bullet.
And if they tried that kind of reform, there will be wars. There will be war because people in this country are so spoiled. They don't like change.
Exactly.
And they will fight. They will fight with those guns.
Exactly.
That change. People will die.
So, having said that, the only way you're going to have, like we said, gun reform is to remove the Second Amendment altogether. Okay. That's going to be a fight.
That's the fight I'm talking about.
Oh, hell yeah. They're going to.
That's the fight I'm talking about. The guns, people with guns will fight that with their guns. They will fight that. And I don't really know how you win that fight. I don't know.
I don't think
people cannot understand how things are related. Just because I have my guns doesn't cause the problem. The problem is them. All those blacks killing blacks. All the, the things that they just love to cling on to.
Mm-hmm.
My guns aren't the problem.
It's their guns.
It's their guns that are the problem. And because until one of their children is shot in a drive-by, or that starts happening all the time to them, this is their problem as far as they're concerned. It's not my problem. My family and my community is safe. We're safe. It's them that aren't safe because they're killing each other. So that's not my problem. Because they can't see it as their problem.
Until Susie or Bobby goes to the hood to get some weed or something, then all of a sudden, and there's no, in my opinion, it's just, again, this is just my opinion, folks. I've been saying this for a while, years actually, but it's just funny. I see on the news, oh, well, we never had that in this neighborhood. You hear that a lot. Well, I don't think there is such thing as safe neighborhoods anymore. First of all, drugs are everywhere. Whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle, drugs are everywhere. Violence, we live in such a violent society.
It really isn't like that's everywhere. It really isn't. I've been to the places where it's not like this. And unfortunately, those places are the communities have come together in those places to stop that from happening. And that they are in this country. There are communities like this that are pretty safe. You know what I mean? You got to go out of that community because they police each other. Everybody knows each other. It's that old tribal thing where you take care of each other. Like my brother's, where he lives, in Texas of all places. It is so safe that my brother will have his front door open. People walk in and all the time. There are places like that. They're just not in Philadelphia or Chicago. They're just not And T Love says this is everyone's problem, and it is. It is everyone's problem because do you want to live in a bubble your whole life? You know, my bubble's okay. So because it eventually permeates that bubble. That stuff will come in. Like you said, one of your kids, they can't get no weed in your neighborhood, so they're going to go over here. Or they can't get their stuff here, so they're going to go over there, and they get shot up or in the way or get pulled into that lifestyle. It is everyone's problem.
It is. It goes from coast to coast, just like this heat wave we're having is coast to coast. This violence problem is having coast to coast, and I'm going to keep on saying it. Gun reform is a joke. Get rid of the gun. Get rid of the amendment, but we know that's never going to happen. That will never happen.
I never say never. I'm just saying that if it gets to the point that it's that bad that they make stands like they did in Australia, there will be wars. There will be fights. There will be.
You know who's going to lead that war? Let's start with the NRA.
Who's bankrupt and almost defunct. They're losing any power.
Same thing is said about the Catholic Church, but they hanging on. You know, okay.
Just like they said about the KKK. But the difference is the amount of power they have. If you ain't got no money, you can't pay the politicians to keep making the laws that help you. You know, they're never going away. But just like, you know, skinheads are never going away. Just like people that hate are never going away. But how big a voice they have, how much power they have will be diminished, can be diminished.
So how would we be able to get the guns off of the street?
The only way we could do it is to allow some war to happen and just do it anyway. That's the only way. And there will always be people that either they move somewhere else or they go underground. There's always going to be people that live that lifestyle no matter what they do. They'll just be quieter about it. They won't be able to walk around with the guns strapped on them, you know, being scary or whatever.
There should be such a thing as open carry states like Texas.
You're saying, should there be?
Yeah.
There already is. I mean,
no, I'm saying I think that's one of the problems, that you got open carries. To get rid of that.
I don't even know about how I feel. I'm a little conflicted about it because I would rather know someone has a gun than not have a gun, and than not know they have a gun. That's the only thing that I can say about that. I would rather know you're a gun carrying person than it's hidden somewhere and I don't know you have a gun. I'm going to act differently if I know you have a gun with you. I'm not going to press your buttons. I'm going to stay away from you. If you got one hidden somewhere and I don't know it and I piss you off accidentally and you come shooting, I'd rather know.
Yeah, I get that. I just don't, like I said, I don't have a lot of faith in the whole gun reform thing. You know,
it's gonna, I don't know if it's gonna be anytime soon, but if enough people die from gun violence, enough people die, and enough of the right people in their minds that die, that's when change will happen. When it's affecting their communities and their families, that's when change will happen. While it's in brown and black communities, they don't give a crap.
So the UK doesn't have any guns at all, right?
I don't know if it's all of UK. I know England, they have their rules that, like, police don't have guns. They carry billy clubs, and I don't know if they
see, that's crazy
or whatever.
And that doesn't sound like that's like a security officer, like with a flashlight. That just shouldn't the cops have guns?
I think it's a good idea that if if it's a no gun society, it's a no gun society everywhere. Not, because there are bad cops.
True.
Mike said he thinks open carry states make things worse. Well,
That's my point.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm conflicted about it, but I just rather know somebody got a gun than not.
I mean, I see your point too. At least I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, he on some other shit. Let me stay away from him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I see it all the time because I travel so much. I see people walking around with these great big old guns. I just make a nice big arc away from them. I don't even come within their sight.
There's really no need. Yeah. Because
I'm not trying to. If I see danger or someone that's so out with their violence, then I know that I'm not gonna be around you. I'm gonna stay away from you.
What type time they're on? Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah. I wanted to, and I don't think I've ever done this. I usually don't do gossip column type of stuff, but it's so being plastered all over the airwaves that I actually started taking notice to this whole Britney Spears story.
I knew that's where you were going.
Because at first I thought this shit was stupid. Like, I could give who cares what's going on in somebody's personal life? That's their personal business.
I can't even believe that a grown woman.
That's where I'm lost.
Fight for her independence.
That's where
I can't believe that is even a conversation.
I was sitting there watching this and I'm like, how does this happen? She's 40-something years old and you still have to ask permission to go to the store?
I think that is everyone's problem. That's not gossip. That's an issue. If that's even allowed ever, I mean, it's one thing, when a person is out of control or they have mental illness or they're sick or they need that kind of help. But it's another thing when it's obvious that they're on their feet, and it's like with mothers, when mothers lose their children, say, you know what I mean? But once they get clean and they get stuff fixed up and they're on their feet and they can provide, they get their children back. It's the same thing to me. Once it's proven and she's shown that she's able to take care of herself, and she doesn't want him to be her manager anymore, he shouldn't be her manager anymore. I can't believe that this isn't even a conversation. It's crazy to me.
I was so confused about the whole
slavery.
Yeah, I was so confused about the whole situation. Because like I said, at first I was like, I don't care about that. And then I really started listening. I'm like, wait a minute. He's doing what?
It's insane.
Is that legal?
I can't believe that we've got laws to protect some stuff like that. How in the world are we even having to come here? How in the world?
I was so confused by that story. I gotta be honest with you. I'm still confused by it. I'm like, wait a minute, how does this work? So basically, now she's a grown woman in her 40s, right? So her father is the conservative. How did he pronounce that?
I don't know, but he controls everything about her life.
How?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I did not know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. I knew that, if there's mental illness or or whatever, if someone needs someone to take care,
get that.
Like if you have a child that has, even a learning disability or something, right, or they're autistic and, their brain functioning at a 5-year-old level, but they're 25, that I understand that, and even there should be some freedoms that grown person should have.
She can't even shopping without his.
But this, she's a functioning smart woman who is living her life.
Worth $60 million.
That's why he don't want to let her go, because he don't want to lose that money.
You've had
That's
enough time.
all it's about.
But you've had enough time to stack your own, though.
Of course. But his sole way of making money is off of his daughter. That is his way to live. He has made every dime. My thing is, if you're that good at managing her career, that she's worth that much money,
why can't you manage other careers?
Manage other people. Because you don't have complete control over other people. And this man sounds like a megalomaniac. Brittany should be able to live her own life, Mike says. Yeah.
Anybody should be able to live their own life.
You know what? Brittany should be able to take her $60 million, lose it in the next 2 years, end up homeless if that's what she want to do. That's her choice. She's grown. She's got a brain. He ain't got nothing holding her back. She should be able to do what the heck she wants to do. Maybe
I was just so confused by that story. You know, like when I really started paying attention, I'm like, wait a minute, how was this done?
It's stupid. I can't believe that they're in court. Why did it even make it there? Why didn't the judge just say right off the bat, come on, she's grown. Do what you want to do, Brittany. Why did it have to go to court? Why did it have to go this far? It's crazy to me. If that's the way the laws are, in that hidden way, that secretive way that control people like this, they need to change that.
That's a crazy law. That's crazy that he's getting away with this and been doing it for years.
I mean, according to sources, he's not going to be getting away with it much longer. This is almost over, but it took too freaking long.
I hope he stacks some dough because he about to be brute.
He about to lose every dime from her. She ain't giving him nothing else. Matter of fact, I'd be surprised if she even let him in her life.
Wow.
I'm sorry, daddy or not. If my father treated me like a slave and ran my life like that, I'd be like, God bless you. I'll pray for you. I'll see you in the next life.
Listen,
I wouldn't be dealing with him.
I don't get it, how that is being done. T, real quick, I know we're talking about Brittany, but real quick, you had a very good point. I just want to acknowledge that something needs to be done because we are losing our next generation to these guns on the streets, and that's true. That is very true. Something's got to be done, but who knows what.
Well, it's like Rube said yesterday, and this like opened my mind in a new way. We need to stop women. We need to stop getting with this certain kind of group and making these babies that still have the same genetic makeup of these people that make these certain choices. If we want this stuff to stop, we have to stop making choices that continue this pattern.
Wow. Yeah.
And I'm a testifier of that. I know about patterns.
You know what? I can't say nothing more. Wow. Okay. I can't. Yeah. That part. When you're right, you're right.
He was right. I had never thought of that before. I was like, oh my gosh, that is so, it was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, that is so true. Ah.
Stop going to the penitentiary to meet your boo. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's start with the kids having kids. Yeah, but you know what though? To a point, T, I agree with you. Babies having babies. But babies have been having babies for centuries.
13-year-old girls were not considered babies not too long ago. They were having children and raising them with their 30-year-old husbands.
Yeah, well, I've always had an issue with that too. That's some sick shit. Like I'm gonna just keep it real. What you do? Come on, dog. Like The Color Purple. Though it's one of my favorite movies, I thought the premise of it was some real sick shit. Really. You a pedophile, cuz. Keep it 100. Just because you married don't mean you ain't no pedophile. You a pedophile. That's that little damn girl. You get a little girl to raise that's a whole nother story. Anyway, but yeah, babies having babies is not the problem. I think babies are not being taught certain.
Well, I think T's right in that she said kids don't know how to raise a kid if they weren't raised in a certain way.
They weren't raised properly.
But it's usually a pattern. I mean, a young girl has a child before she's ready. Her child has a child before she's ready. That's why I got friends that are great grandparents right now. They're great grandparents. My kid is just now dating, but I have friends that have great grandchildren because of the pattern. They had their child when they were 15. Their kid had their kid when they were 15, and on and on.
The great grandmother is your age. The grandmother is 40.
Right.
The mother the mother is 25.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a pattern.
And they all be hanging out together in the club. That's the crazy part.
And I know some young mothers that were ready to have children and raise them. I mean, they may not have been, maybe they still wanted to party and stuff, but they were smart. They knew what they were doing. I know them too. They're, because they had a support system. But hi, Rashonda.
I was considered late because I didn't. My daughter.
Dude, I was an old maid having a baby. Seriously, I didn't even. I told you I didn't even think I could have children because when I was married to Arthur, I kept trying and it just wasn't happening. So I just thought it was me. I thought I couldn't have children. So, and I married him when I was in my 20s. If we had actually had children when we were trying to have children, I would have had, my kids would have been much older.
Yeah, you'd be a
I may be a grandmother by now. Because my age being a grandmother is copacetic. That's cool. Yes. But I'm afraid Sophie's like me. I don't think she's gonna be trying to have nobody's. I might be dead by the time she's trying to have.
Damn.
Or very old. If she waited, I told her, I was like, Sophie, if you wait as long as I did, don't continue my pattern. If you wait as long as I did, I'm gonna be 90 before you.
Hey, Rashonda. Hey, love. You missed it the other night, Rashonda. Rashonda was so upset that she missed the show.
Rashonda, I mentioned you. I was looking for you because if you had come on, we would have given you the information again. Oh, but she says when she had her daughter, she wasn't ready financially, but that doesn't mean she didn't have a job. She just wasn't where she wanted to be before she had her kid, before she had her daughter. Yeah, that's a biggie. Usually there aren't that many wealthy people having children at 15.
True.
They typically don't do that.
And if they do, you never know about it because they send the child away or something so that.
Well, my question about having children before you're ready is, I mean, I know things happen. I know people get pregnant in spite of birth control, but if you were like truly following protocol when it comes to that, why does it happen? Is it because he don't want nothing between you and him? Is that the reason why you do it? Or because me, I did not put myself in a position to have a kid until I wanted to have a kid, and I didn't. I know that sometimes no birth control is 100%.
You want the real answer or you want the nice answer?
No, I want the real answer.
Stupidity runs amok. I don't know how else to put it. He said,
it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to me.
Pretty much. Okay. This goes back to remember yesterday when you asked the question? It was yesterday when you asked the question, how would you live your life if you knew?
Right.
And remember my answer? I would have been more mortal and less immortal.
Mm.
Well, when you're that young, especially as a man, as a male, you think very immortally, like, oh, it ain't gonna happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. It ain't gonna happen to me. Damn, it happened.
But Rashonda makes a point that I agree with. She says she was well past the age of 15, but I do know women that have had children young. But like you, I mean, I was 35 when I had mine, and I wasn't financially ready because I was an artist. I was an actress. So all my money I gave, if I had known Craig back then, I would be a millionaire right now because I would have invested my money. I wouldn't have just gave it away to everybody. I would have given them what I could, but I would have invested in myself. So I wasn't ready financially for a kid. And I had to give up a whole lot at 35 to have a kid. I had to give up my career because I wanted to raise her. I didn't want a nanny raising her. So that meant I gave up money. And so there went taking care of me. You know, there went my health insurance. I had to, get help that way because my health insurance was all tied up in me working as an actress. That's where it came from. And when I stopped working to raise my daughter, there went that perfect, awesome healthcare because I couldn't work like that. So if you're conscious and you're making a choice to have a child, you got to understand that you're going to have to give up something, and nobody is ready. I don't think anybody is ready for a child. Somebody that's got money, somebody that's poor, nobody's really ready for how it changes your life.
Get out of my head, because that's exactly what I was like, are you ever really ready? And kids
I didn't know what I was doing. I had raised all these kids, so I thought I knew. It was nothing like what I expected, and I wasn't ready, and I made mistakes, and everybody does. Everybody does, because we're human and we're growing.
But here's the thing about kids. Kids don't come with instruction manuals. I tell mine all the time.
And they're all different. They're all different.
Yeah. I agree with that. We got 5 minutes left, Cece.
Mm-hmm.
So, y'all know about the podcast, but I'm going to repeat it again. No, I'll let you repeat it.
Yeah. So I have a wonderful guest on tomorrow, Rhea Keane. She is a young British woman and very strong into community activism and in politics, and has always been. So she is very interesting, and she had a lot to say that I could relate to. Being a woman in my industry, it's horrible how in almost all industries women are having to fight like the devil to come up because of the old patriarchal way of doing things. So it's really good. So I hope you go to either Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and so many other platforms to check out the podcast.
Let me tell y'all something. How much this lady has something to say. First of all, this is probably the longest.
No, it's not actually.
It's really not?
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe I was just that into.
I think Rube's might be longer.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Or around the same.
Well, when I first called C. Reese yesterday, and I said, yo, this is kind of long. Oh, well, go ahead and, edit it like you normally do. Now, normally I can take somebody's conversation, edit it, and you'll never know. I said, no, I can't. I can't take one word out. Because everything she's saying was just that deep and important in her story. So I said, no, I can't delete one word. You have to hear everything she says. Y'all got to listen to that. And real quick, go to the podcast, y'all. This is not the podcast. I've heard so many people refer to our show, The Melanated Morning. I'm on the podcast. This is not a podcast, people. This is an actual legitimate radio show that's being streamed on social media as well, but it's not a podcast. So please don't confuse the PPC radio show with, oh, well, I go to check out the radio show. That's the podcast. It's not. And I think
and the thing is, because we have a panel, there's multiple voices. You get into the story, but not nearly as much as if on the podcast, because that's really just about the guest, just them. I ask the questions and they talk. So that's where you really get to know these people. And then when they come on the radio show, then it's a conversation and it's fun. And we talk about other things. But, you know, do like I do. When I'm cooking, when I'm walking, whatever, that's when I listen to my podcast. You know, there is time in the day when I'm driving. There's some really great information out there.
It just ran across my mind real quick, Cece, yesterday when somebody actually said that to me. I was on the phone. Somebody said, yeah, well, you know, your podcast. What podcast?
They keep calling it a podcast because people don't know what a podcast is. A podcast is an audio platform. It's the audio. Like, no, it's pre-recorded. No. It's not live. It's pre-recorded.
Yeah, they were like, no, that thing you do in the morning, that's not a podcast, dude.
No, that's radio. We're on terrestrial radio and we're on internet radio.
Well, wait a minute. Don't y'all pre-record? No. Where are you getting this from?
This is happening right now.
Y'all live? Yeah, I'm live. I'm live scratching. Yeah, digging. Yeah, I'm live. I'm live digging my. No, yes, I'm live. We are live. Ah, we're live. So go check out the podcast. Is my point. Tonight, 8:00. Me.
Sin 100.
Me and Sin. We do our once a month thing where we.
Well, she's on every week. But
yes, she's on every week. Yes.
But today, you guys are doing it together. This is your once a month join in with her.
Once a month join in with her. Yes. Mm-hmm. But she does a great job every Thursday at 8:00. And again, we have a conversation about everything and nothing that means a whole bunch of something. That part. So, having said that, tomorrow is another day of the Melanated Morning Show. I'm by myself. Music. I'm gonna be playing some more.
Check it out, y'all. Tomorrow I'm not gonna be able to join because I have
work.
Huge amount of stuff. But I think I'm ready.
Think you're ready?
I think I'm ready, but I'm gonna still be working and I gotta write. I'm writing a new screenplay.
Oh, she can write, y'all. Listen, we gotta get ready to go. If you don't get a chance to, again, check out the movie Fearless, y'all. Check out the movie Fearless. Check out To Love Is. Help me out. I don't know what the hell the name of it. I get it messed up.
Thank you, Beth. The Courage to Love.
The Courage to Love.
Those are some oldies. Go to IMDb. You can see a whole bunch of stuff.
And I want y'all to check out the Misadventures
of Mistress Maneater.
That part.
By our friend Craig Engel and his wife, Larissa Julian.
That part. So we're at the top of the hour. Thank y'all all for coming out and listening. Rashonda, I'm going to have to inbox you with my phone number because Kid sucks at reminding me.
Thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate you joining in, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. And then the week after that, I think I'm going to be in Las Vegas.
Oh, are we doing a show from Vegas?
Right.
Are we going to do a show from Vegas?
Yeah, that's my plan. I'm guessing that my days will be free. I'm sure all the events will be at night.
This is the part where y'all get to see me be a hater. So
thank you, Mike.
Right here, because you're going to Vegas.
You's a hater, but I'll be in Philly the week after that. So
I don't care. You going to Vegas? Okay, thanks everybody for coming out. That's it for us. Bessie Boo, hey. So for myself and Girly over there, Cinda, Seabreeze.
That's a wrap.
That part, do you do?